If you would have told me a year ago that I would be at the Forbes Healthcare Summit telling all of you about how genomic sequencing saved me from stage 4 lung cancer, I would have been 1, very confused, and 2, maybe thought you were crazy. It was just a year ago that I was at UC Berkeley. I was trying to get 2 degrees done on time. I was interested and had hopes to return to Tanzania. I had an interest in global health affairs and was not so interested in having my own individual health crisis. But sometimes the job and the journey chooses you, and in a way, I'm not that bitter about it. My story is kind of unique. It all started with a flash in my eye. That was the only symptom I had, only symptom I've ever had. It was actually my eye doctor who was the one to push for a full body scan. My primary doctor wasn't really interested in doing it, but even though there were no other symptoms, he was adamant about it, and we got the full scan. Came back, his inkling was right. I had tumors in my lungs, I had a lymph node light up, I had bone metastases, and of course I had that one little 1 millimeter guy right behind my right eye who started it all. To say I was devastated would be quite the understatement. The hardest part was telling my parents and moving back home, putting dreams on hold, saying no to jobs. At the time, I thought that chemotherapy was my only option, and that had about a 20% response rate. And it didn't help learning that the survival rate at the time was less than 5%. Then I learned about targeted therapy and kind of learned that that was going to be my best option, in a way, my only option. And that's when Foundation Medicine came into my life, and I had my tissue submitted for the Foundation 1 testing and had a full genomic sequencing test performed in hopes that I would find a genomic alteration. And I felt like I had hit the genomic lottery. I had ROS1 genomic alteration or driver mutation. It's estimated to occur in about 1% to 2% of lung cancer patients, but I didn't care. This was my chance. This was everything at the time. I remember we popped a bottle of champagne the night we found out, and it meant that I qualified for a drug called crizotinib, or the brand name Xalkori. Also, having this targeted therapy meant freedom for me. It meant staying in marathon shape. It meant signing up for my 9th marathon come July. It meant keeping up with my 20-year-old friends. It meant traveling the country, as I just took this pill twice a day with very few side effects. And it turned out it was working. I had my first scan after being on the pill for about 3 months and came back clear lungs, clear lymph nodes, and almost completely gone, where the bone metastases were almost completely gone. So almost a complete response. I was thrilled. I still am thrilled. But in a lot of ways, I feel like the fight isn't over. If or when I develop a resistance, I will again have genomic sequencing. And I recently learned that only 15%, or maybe less than 15%, of eligible patients are getting this genomic sequencing, this test that could literally save their life. And it's also time that we took data like mine, and we have a study that is working on a comprehensive genomic profiling of young lung cancer to get more answers and to get treatment in real time. So, why am I here? I hope that when you go home tonight or when you go into work tomorrow, you tell your friends, you tell your family, you tell your coworkers that you just met a 22-year-old who had stage 4 lung cancer. But more importantly, I hope you tell them that you met a 22-year-old who is beating lung cancer thanks to genomic sequencing, and thanks to data. Thank you.